Hey everyone, how's it going? Happy Monday. I figured I would make a video since I've stopped trading on my live account, my, personal funded account, and opened an account with Trade the Pool. Um, did a little bit of testing with it, and I've kind of figured out how I'm gonna trade with it. But so far I'm like down, let's see, 20 bucks on the account. Yeah, on I don't know how many trades. 11 trades. Um so yeah, getting kind of used to the software. I think I've set it up in a way that I want it at this point, which is good. And uh and yeah, reasoning for switching to prop firm. Holy shit, I just got worried I leaked my account. But the reason why I decided to switch to prop firm is because I felt like I was risking too much. And the risk. Okay, so here's something about Cobra trading that makes it a little bit difficult. You need 27,000 minimum equity in order to trade. And the software is expensive. You're paying like 120-ish a month, sometimes even more. I think probably like closer to 200 a month. Then there's borrow fees on top of that and commissions on top of that. So if you take all those things, say I have 27,000 in there and I'm only trading with say like 5,000, right? That's my goal. And you want to risk like, 2% of your account value a trade. For 5,000, that's 100 bucks, right? So, depending on, your RR, you might be making anywhere from, 50 bucks to like 150 bucks per trade. And it's not really, I mean, assuming like a 60-70% win rate, it's not really sustainable, all things considered. I lost probably over the course of a year 25,000 to fees. Um, and I would have had a profitable year had it not been for fees, which kind of sucks. And so the good thing with these prop firms, obviously, there's rules involved, and I would recommend reading all the rules. But there are a couple things that are good, and obviously there's some trade-off. But I think this will be good for me because um, A, there aren't any fees involved with Trade the Pool. So, well, there are fees. I lied. There's trade-based fees, I guess is the way to put it. Um, in the sense of based on how many times you enter on a trade, um, you get charged a fee. So I think it's 75 cents per entry is how they calculate it. I'm not entirely sure. Um, it might be share based as well. I really don't know. Or like maybe add liquidity. I don't know. Anyways, each trade kind of has this amount. So I'm spending 10%, 10% plus per trade, which isn't crazy, I think, um, given it's not my money. If it was my money, it would be a little different. But anyways, the other thing too is there's pre-market stops, which is huge. Um, I was getting smoked pre-market sometimes because the stock would just explode like 100%. There's a daily pause of $50 here. So anytime I'm in a trade and it goes $50 against me, I get locked out of my account, which I think is really good for me because I'm a revenge trader, and I think that DAS has that functionality too, but um, I never configured it. And honestly, if I had full control, I would just keep trading. That's the honest truth. Um, and I think I have this tendency to add when more and more extreme conditions are met when I really shouldn't. And I think the way that Trade the Pool is configured, it would work well for me because um, each time I add, I have to pay fees, so I have to think about it. And I can aggressively add towards the top because it's kind of incremental. The way the hotkeys work, um, I can kind of do a starter position and then like spam it and be more heavy towards the top. Um, and then, the trade goes against me, $50, it liquidates and then I'm out. But anyways, there's pre-market kind of liquidation in that sense, and the bracket orders actually work, which is nice. I don't have to like get out manually. If I have a take profit set, it'll take me out when that take profit is hit. Um, so yeah, that's why I've gone with this. So a little overview. Profit target is 6%, max loss is 3%. And the cost of this, I think, was like $27 because I had like a $10 credit, and then first time sign up, I think they gave another $10 or whatever. So 27 bucks to control 5K, I think is really, really good, especially for like momentum stocks. I think I'll be able to more comfortably practice long trades. And also the other update I made is kind of my risk is tighter. So I'm gonna be going in heavier and only risking one ATR as opposed to having a 2-to-1 risk reward. It's 1-to-1 now. Um, so, if it goes against me immediately, I'll just get stopped out at that $50. But I'm gonna be kind of averaging in towards, those extreme conditions. And once I hit my max size, if it moves $50 against me, it's over. And then my profit target is going to be the start of the move. So instead of moving it to an ATR, basically whenever the move starts, I'm looking for a full retracement of that. Um, so yeah, so I have until April 17th to make 6%. Um, and I will be tracking that. I'm gonna post live trading videos now that I'm kind of comfortable with this software. I'm gonna post live trading, and yeah, I'd say like the one complaint I have, DAS is really good software, and it's a bit unfortunate that I won't be able to use it anymore. It's just too expensive at this time, I think, at this point in my journey. I'm not moving enough money around and making enough profit to where it's justifiable, I would say. And then also, I want to experiment with different strategies. And I think putting real money on the line doesn't make sense. And also back testing and what's it called? Testing out a strategy, I think in general with real money, um, it's tough to kind of know how much you should risk. The good thing about this is there's fixed kind of risk with every evaluation you pay for. Um, in trading with live capital, it's much harder to manage, I think. Especially with having access to like 27, let's say like a $35,000 account, I think can I found myself doing some things that were dangerous that ultimately led to me losing money, and cycle repeats. I go back to my rules. I trade well for a while. Um, Something makes me wipe a couple days of progress. I try and make that back by taking on more risk, and then big losses happen. So this will be a good way to prevent that. Um, and yeah, we'll go from there. I honestly feel really good about this. I wish there was a prop firm that let me use DAS, same setup as this. But yeah. If you guys are interested in this, I'll leave a link in this description for like any affiliate link or whatever. I would thoroughly read like what you can and can't do. If we just go over there's this forbidden practice section, but in short, like you have to hold a trade longer than I think 10 seconds or a minute. You have to, um, yeah, the profit or loss has to be 10 cents. Um, and then there's some other rules too, but for this, it's like 6% target, 3% max loss. Um, this one, I don't know if is in the forbidden practices I just showed, but best trade cannot exceed 30% of total profit. So I think that's a pretty huge one that I wasn't aware of. But if you're like a momentum trader, you catch a really good move, like they're not just going to give that to you, right? So yeah, I think having 1-2-1 is good for this, and yeah. That's it for today's video. Yeah, I've basically liquidated my DAS account, and from here I'm just going to be using Trade the Pool. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching, and peace.